Hello guys, I hope that you are doing great. Today I'm doing another video on the chart, another recording, just for you to understand better my style because you requested it. So yeah, I'm doing it. So here we are on GU. As you can see, forex.com is the broker that I'm using, and also I want to tell you that this pair works pretty nice with the way I trade, so I totally recommend it. And also you have to know that your stop losses should be a little bit bigger than on you. And I know that my students know why. You gotta be a little bit more careful because GU tends to go for taking the liquidity first and then continuing its movement. So here we are on a bearish trend inside GU. As we can see, we made a change of character inside of this structure, a break of structure to the downside, change of character to the upside on 4 hours, and we kind of arrived to this doji, which is a very nice and clear supply zone on 4 hours. So here we are kind of ranging in this zone. What is the market going to do? We have actually no clue about it. We just need to follow what happens and take positions based on that. We can't anticipate that, like I always say. So yeah, that's all that we have on 4 hours. I'm kind of waiting to see if it's going to have a break of structure to the upside, but until then, of course, we will still have some bearish movements. We don't really know if they will be bigger or not, so we'll see what the trend is going to do. Now, as we can see, as we can tell from here, it just stopped in the 4-hour supply zone, which is still refined on 1 hour, and it looks pretty nice. Of course, we have some wicks here. We don't actually have engulf candles, which aren't really nice for me, but this wick still works pretty good. So I'm just gonna refine that and see what happens. So at the moment, the market is around here. It just mitigated these supply zone once, and what I'm actually looking to see is the mitigation to happen twice. Like, as you can see, we have liquidity here, we have liquidity there, so this needs to be taken out. Okay, so I'd rather see something like coming here and then dropping, or coming here, making a small reaction and continuing. We don't really know what is going to happen, but for sure we'll have a reaction from it. And as a day trader, searching for entries on 1 minute and 5 seconds is still good either way. You just have to know where to stop the trade and where to take partials. So somebody asked me some days ago, what exactly is liquidity? And I can tell you that I explained it a lot on FXA trading, but of course I'm not going to be goofy and say that you have to pay for that, because liquidity info is everywhere. You have to know how to use that in your favor. So as you can see here, we have a range formed. So this is a form of liquidity that we're looking for. This is going to be taken either to the upside or to the downside, because it's pretty good. It's pretty good either way. And if you go for the 30 minutes time frame, the 5 minutes time frame, and so on, you can see it better. Like, just look at it. So you gotta understand the fact that the market functions on liquidity. If the market doesn't have enough liquidity, like, how to explain you better, like bearish and bullish movements happening, forming, and so on inside the leg, we can't really continue that movement, because let's imagine that we have here only a very, very long and wide bearish candle. How can something like this continue its movement to the downside like this permanently? You see, this thing can't happen for a very long time, just because we still need some bullish candles going over here and there, forming dojis, forming ranges, forming a lot of types of liquidity, just for the market to have the power to continue to the downside. You can't really see this kind of dropping without a little bit of liquidity taken. But the market has to move in waves. Everything has to move in waves on the chart. Here, as you can see, we had bullish movement, bearish movement, bullish movement again. This is a lot of liquidity here, like staying above and staying below. So what happens here? We have this wick that took the liquidity above these equal highs, and also this wick and this doji that took the liquidity that was staying below. And if we go to the right, actually we can see that is still happening here. As you can see, from this point to this point, the market chose to take all of this liquidity here when it decided to move to the downside. See that right here? That is liquidity. That is liquidity too. That is still liquidity if it was taken. And you know that saying that when you're searching for liquidity, you might become the liquidity, just because when you took your position, you didn't really search for any liquidity inside your movement. Like, I don't know, I would never, for example, let's say, I would never take a trade from this point right here. And that is because I kind of see this thing forming right here. I can see a lot of bearish candles, but no bullish candles. So this might be taken out very easily. And it did, as we can see, it did right here. Just because the market needed these guys right here to be taken out. And after that, what happened? We had kind of stopped into the supply zone and had a small reaction, and then as we can see, there's no liquidity in here too, so we need to create some, and this is what happens right here. The market is just ranging, it just does nothing. That is actually what the market is doing on Fridays, because on Fridays the volume is low and the market is just ranging. But that is pretty good for the Monday that comes, just because in the first day of the week it will have enough liquidity to continue its movement to the upside, to the downside. And if you saw my previous video, you can actually see that I'm looking on the chart on weekly time frame, daily time frame, 4 hours, and so on when taking my entries. I don't take my entries based on a single time frame. That is not a smart move from a person that does supply and demand with liquidity concepts and also institutional candles. So yeah, there's a lot of things going on, and I explained them into FXA. I mean, you can see some false change of character going on. You can see the retest of our supply zone and so on, and you can kind of understand what the market is trying to do. You don't have to anticipate, I repeat, you just have to react to it. And in order to know how to react to a movement in the market, first of all, you have to understand the theory. You also have to practice a little bit.